Have you ever sat through someone telling you a joke they thought was absolutely hilarious? I mean, they're barely able to get it out. It has them in stitches, and you're just completely unfazed, trying your best to play along because you don't want to hurt their feelings? That feeling was perfectly replicated by High on Life. This game is the brainchild of one Justin Roiland, who you probably all know from the hit show Rick and Morty. Obviously, with this being a project by him, it will have his distinct style on it, and that is typically a huge selling point for the game. Everything I saw and heard about this game leading up to its release was Doom, but with Rick and Morty. And I was kind of actually excited to play this one, and that combined with the fact that it was coming out day one on Game Pass meant it was a slam dunk, no-brainer, had to play this one. But what game did we end up getting? Did we get a peanut butter and chocolate of perfect combat with excellent storytelling and humor? Or watered down mechanics in an oversaturated genre and Justin Roiland and friends just riffing for way too long? A lot of word of mouth has been people sitting very firmly in the second camp, and I would argue the truth is somewhere more in the middle, but obviously we're going to need more details before making a decision. Let's start off with the goods, because there's surprisingly a lot of them. Combat is surprisingly enjoyable, with a fast pace, plenty of options, and really just colorful and pretty to look at. Weapons are satisfying. I love these animations for finishing off people with your knife. It's just like, oh! Plus each gun has a cool special ability that really shakes things up and keeps things fresh. A decent amount of mods and upgrades to your weapons and mobility options. I wouldn't go so far to call it phenomenal, but I was never bored of the action and was never dreading having to fight anything or go through another section.
The music and soundtrack is really fun and energetic with these playful 80s-like synths. And I'm not shy to admit that a couple of the bits in this game got me. I thought there were some parts that were genuinely funny, genuinely engaging, and caught me off guard in a good way.
The enemies are blah, whatever, nothing to write home about, but the bosses I actually enjoyed and thought they were pretty creative and very unique and diverse. Crank it up to the hardest difficulty and you're not gonna get hit with anything you won't be able to handle, but you'll at least feel challenged. Some downers though being, there's not really that much use for any other gun because the pistol just stomps everything. Legitimately, outside of anything that required the special abilities of other guns, I just stuck to the pistol. It was the most powerful, it was the most fun, and it felt like it dealt the most damage and was just the most effective against everything. I feel like a large part of that has to do with the enemies, because there is a depressingly small pool of enemies to fight, and they are recycled throughout the entire game. While they clearly tried to create some variation between them, I really would have wished that certain guns were more effective than others. Another thing I didn't really like was that there was pretty much nothing to do outside of the missions themselves. They made the game open world, but this is always a huge pet peeve of mine where a game is open but there's absolutely nothing to do in it. And that's going to lead me to the other part of this discussion, and really the main critique of the game. The jokes.
I can see it in your eyes, Fresh Meat. You actually want to shoot a defenseless little kid like me just because I'm really annoying. Well, go for it. I think it would be really funny.
Do you remember Shooty McShootface, or whatever his name was, from Borderlands 2? He was just an NPC who stood there and had seemingly nothing to do with anything and just spouted an endless amount of dialogue until you
Shoot him in the face.
like he asked you very politely to do. Now imagine possibly 50 different versions of that character completely littered throughout the game. There might not be a single character outside of the guns that I found interesting at all. Maybe Jean if you gave me a good enough argument. The only way I enjoyed a character is if I recognized their voice actor.
Oh my god, guys, it's Zack! It's Psychic Pebbles!
It's also not a stretch to say there were probably zero jokes I found funny. I know this has kind of been the meme surrounding this game, but it's sadly kind of true. I was maybe able to crack a smile in like the first 30 minutes to an hour, and then after that, nothing. Oh, practically nothing. The characters just riff for way too goddamn long and just go on way too long at fucking tangents. The novelty of awkwardly delivered lines and overuse of swearing just wears off way too fast. And talking also seems to be the only kind of joke they know how to tell. Anytime they go into a joke that uses the UI or is interactive in some way, because it's a fucking video game, it's too few and far between, and some of them aren't funny. They just land on their fucking face. And they have these warp discs, which are these things you buy with this secondary currency that lets you warp in things to aid you on your adventure. Except that's not what it is, because what it is jokes. All of the things you can warp in are just jokes. Why did this have to be a separate thing where you have to collect a resource to buy a thing, to travel to the proper location, to summon a joke? Why couldn't they have just been integrated into the game organically? That would have made them actually fucking funny. Because to be honest, I actually enjoyed these. These were, and I quote, funny. But the game doesn't surprise you with these while you're doing other things. You have to go out of your way to experience them. And that is my main problem with this game. It wants to have funny moments, and it wants to have cool, fun shooter moments, but it doesn't know how to do them both simultaneously. The game is so clearly and visibly divided between its two core ideas that so much shit gets wasted in this game. Let me begin with my most frustrating example. Fucking Space Applebee's. When you first see it, its mere existence intrigues you and is kind of humorous. But you're on a mission for something else. You have to leave and go do your cool shooter bits. Then later, everything in the game has to be put on fucking hold so you can go to Space Applebee's and have a conversation with Kenny. Cool, does anything silly happen in the Applebee's? Not really. Is there any fun action sequences in an Applebee's? Not really. Do I legitimately sit and just order fucking food at an Applebee's and then pay the bill and leave? Like, I don't want to feel like a Scrooge with a stick up his ass, but am I missing the point? Why am I fucking doing this? Why am I not just going and spending my actual Friday night with shitty service at a fucking real life Applebee's? Or the saloon. Oh, the saloon. It should be illegal to put a saloon in a game and not have some kind of fun interactability with it. It has this like high noon style showdown, but it doesn't even get that right, because if you participate or literally leave the room to go take a piss, the situation resolves itself with the exact same outcome. I'm not expecting to be able to go in and play Texas Hold'em or get drunk or play a dancing minigame or anything like that. I just want something, goddammit. And it's a damn shame, because this game is actually kind of fun and I would recommend you play it because it's free. It's not gonna have you cackling at all of its moments. No, you're not gonna walk away from it feeling like you can never look at another first-person shooter the same way ever again. And yeah, you could probably beat it in like 1 or 2 days, but it's fine because those 1 to 2 days is all you need with this game. So this video, like most other videos, took me a little while to make, and in light of recent news and Justin Roiland being an absolute dumbass, I'm having to re-record the end of this. Now originally this kind of part was just going to be my final verdict of the game and whether or not I would recommend it, but I can't really do that anymore. A part of me wants to just not upload this video entirely, but I've basically already finished it, and I really want to try to hit monthly uploads this year, so this video is coming out anyway. I'm sorry to have wasted your time, and I know Justin Roiland also stepped down as the CEO of Squanch Games, so even if you do play this, it doesn't give him money, and I'm not here to judge you if you do want to play it or if you don't want to play it. I'm not going to say anything further about it, I'm just going to leave the decision up to you. And with that, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, you know what to do. If you want to see more, you know what to do. You know what YouTube is. You know your options. I am trying to hit 500 subscribers. I don't know how realistic that is, but hey, I didn't expect to get this far, so let's just keep this thing going. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. I genuinely love reading comments with you guys. You guys are super supportive and super informative. I actually love it. I love this tiny little weird community thing I've got going. I will see you all in the next video, and have a great day.